Okay, latest problem. Oh, no, never mind. It decided to do it. Been having an issue getting the flame to come down that line in the oven. This was my 4th attempt. It used to take about a minute for the flame to come down. The first time I lit the oven, I waited like a whole 10 minutes and the flame didn't come down the line, and I tried it again and again. This is probably like attempt number 5 and it finally did it. So something must be going in my oven. Help. Your girl just wants some chicken strips, man. Right, Baba? We just wanted some chicken strips. Are you missing your water fountain, Ramsey? I feel like Melissa Etheridge's Come to My Window should be playing in the background. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. Just go out there, man. I'll put it on for you. Go get a drink. Are you that in love with your water fountain? You just have to sit there and stare at it? I mean, this is getting borderline obsessed, I think. Not good. Ugh. Freshwater tank was a little low. It is water refill day. Probably gonna take about 4 of those to refill my tank back there. Quick update on the Starlink. If you're wondering why it's over here, turns out I had it in the wrong position when I had it over there. According to the app, it is now aligned facing this way. I did have it over here facing that way. It pays to pay attention, and I wasn't doing that when it came to the app. But now I see that it's aligned over there, so technically I should be getting the best service possible over there. Sorry, yeah, it's a little noisier out there because of the water pump. But last night when I got home from work, I went on the app and actually noticed that there was a little feature there called alignment. And when I went to it, I was way off with where my Starlink dish was supposed to be facing. Apparently it's aligned where it is now. A few people in the comments told me to put it up on the roof and have it face south. I might try that today, but I know it's not going to be aligned according to the app. But we'll see. I'm willing to experiment a little bit. It's nothing permanent yet. My main focus is trying to find the best place for it, you know, service-wise, so I don't get as much interruptions and such. So I will do a speed test just to show you with regards to where it is right now. And then I will try putting it up on the roof and having it face south, which is the opposite direction it's facing. And, you know, we'll try doing the speed test then, and we'll see what's best. It would be more convenient for me if I could set it up on the roof facing south, because then I could literally run the cord down through the vent, the old fridge vent. Let's have a look-see, shall we? Okay. We're online. Your Starlink is partially obstructed. I'm probably going to get that pretty much everywhere here because of my trees. But let's do a speed test. We might have to do several. Not too bad. Oh, Ramsey wants to say hello. Thanks, Bubba. Yep, we appreciate you. Okay, so it's settled at 251 megabits per second. I'm sorry, in the last video I was saying megabytes. My bad. 31 ms latency, milliseconds. Correct me if I'm wrong. And 39 megabits per second upload. And then we've got the obstructed error showing here. So we'll do another speed test and see if we're getting similar results. This one might be even higher yet. 299, definitely a little higher. Those are the results we're getting now with the Starlink, you know, where the app is telling me that it's aligned. It is also on the ground. I don't have it, you know, up high or anything. It might be better up high, but keep that in mind. So next, I think I'm going to try to just temporarily just set it on the roof facing south. And we'll see. Well, obviously it might take some time to connect the satellites and such, so I'll give it a little time to do that, and then we'll come back and do another speed test just to see what we're getting. It would be nice if I could just set it up there, right? Because then it's up out of the way, and then I don't have a cord laying on the ground all winter. But we'll see. We'll test it out. FYI, hey Ramsey. Yes, I know. You're really enjoying the attention. FYI, when I was at work yesterday, I went on the Starlink website and saw that the price of the hardware went back up to $4.99. So yeah, definitely glad I purchased it at $1.99 when it was on sale, because now the price has gone back up again. So you just never know. I mean, maybe these sales just come on every once in a while, but right now, at least in Canada, it appears that the hardware is now once again $4.99. So yeah. Sorry about the noise, trying to kill two birds with one stone, if you know what I mean. I'm going to temporarily set the Starlink up there right next to my solar panel. So it's going to be shooting this way and facing south. Opposite direction that it's facing, obviously, but we'll try it. I mean, why not? Oh wow. That just happened. Walked inside, heard a big crash. My pump ripped off my batteries. My water tanks completely fell over. I guess. Wow. Okay. This was not pinned, and that is why. Yeah. Well, my one water barrel really broke. There's a piece of it there, piece of it there. It's all cracked to heck. Yeah, this one broke too. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's that. There is that. I'm just out here in my bare feet because I came running when I heard the crash. I honestly thought my Starlink... I'm more worried about that. I thought that fell off the roof, but it was too loud of a crash, so... Oh my gosh, you guys, the fun never ends. There goes 2 full barrels of water that I was going to put into my tank back there, but now these barrels are no good. No good at all. Note to self, Jenna, make sure there's a pin. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yep. Never a dull moment. That sucks. That easily could have been prevented. I just assumed the pin was in there on the trailer, but guess what? It wasn't. There goes my clear barrels, which I really enjoyed because you could actually see the water level. I do have 2 spare solid blue barrels. I just don't like them as much because you can't see where the water level is at when you're doing the transfer, but I'll have to use those in the meantime, and I guess I'm in the market for some clear barrels now. Okay, I will have to resume my water transfer a little later, but now we'll focus on the Starlink thing and just... It's always something, you guys. It's always something. Okay, so we can see that we're online. Check alignment. Yeah, see, my alignment is way off with it up on the roof there. It's actually, well, you can see where it wants to point north and I have it pointing south. So it's basically telling me, like, turn this thing around and face it the other way. But we shall check the speed test. Still online. The speed test looks like we're getting similar results that we got before. This one's even better yet. 303 megabits per second. I'm getting different results each time I do the speed test, and maybe that has to do with the satellites moving, like a few of you had mentioned in the comments of the last video. That is possible. But yeah, right now the Starlink up on the roof, I just kind of have the kickstand resting against 2 of the roofing screws. It's obviously not up there permanently. So I'm just going to leave it up there for a good part of today and see how it does. And if it does okay, then maybe I can just install it up there permanently, even though it's not aligned. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. Now I've got to take care of my barrel situation because I do need water, and I did not get enough in my tank before those 2 barrels just went kaput onto the ground and dumped all of the water everywhere and broke into pieces. I'm really surprised that these didn't rip out when when it came crashing down. Wow, completely separated the gravel here with all that force of water flying out of these barrels. That sucks. These barrels were the best because you could see the water level in them. Yeah. Oh well. Move this out of the way. Bring this. Wow. Just literally didn't have a pin. Yep. Hopefully my pump still works. Wow. I do have a random barrel here, which I'll really need to give a good clean out before I start using it as water transfer again. So there's this one. And I've got this one that has some type of a wasp nest in it, but I don't think there's anything still living in the old nest. I wonder... Ooh, I don't even really want to touch it because, you know, R.I.P. Well, I've got my 2 new barrels. I guess I have to try to find the little chain and the thing that goes in here. I don't know where the heck that ended up, but it... Anyway. Having that definitely would have saved me some of this trouble, but always check. Always check. I really want to know where the pin went for this, though. In the meantime, I'd love to stick a pin in there and, you know, hold shit together. I'm back with my other barrels. Got them all cleaned out, filled with water. Let's try this again, shall we? I had to Jenna rig a pin because I could not find the pin for this, and I just happened to find this copper pipe laying around and I just sort of stuck it in there. It's in there pretty solid, so I think we're okay. Hopefully my pump works okay because that did get ripped off the battery and stuff, so yeah, fingers crossed. Back in business. Look at that, we got cats coming up to join us again. Yep. Can I just do this, Ramsey, real quick? Do you mind? Can I just try this? Doing another speed test here. If the boss will let me. Starlink's been up on the roof for about, yes, Ramsey, 2 hours now. Yes, buddy. 312 megabits per second. It does say obstructed, but it pretty much always does. Do another speed test. The numbers look good. The numbers look good, even though it's not... Oh my gosh. Yes, buddy. Yes. Yes, we know you like attention. But do you have to just plop yourself right there? 263 megabits per second. So, we're getting good numbers. And, oh my gosh. He keeps bonking the camera with his head. Go somewhere, please. Thank you. I think it's safe to say that where it is on the roof, even though it's not aligned, like I said, still getting good results. So in theory, it should be okay to mount up there, I would think, no? I mean, I think I'd like to try it because that is the most convenient place for it, to be honest with you. Anybody else have really needy animals? No? Just me? Okay. Just like that, the last 2 barrels are finally done. Yeah, water transfer today ended up being like an all-day event, but sometimes that happens when things go wrong. Anyway, it's almost 7 p.m. Got about another hour of daylight. It's pretty much getting dark now by 8. Still have to run to the gas station, fill those jerry cans back there because my generator is screaming fuel, fuel, fuel at me, so I have to do that. I've been putting it off for way too long. Everything else is going to have to wait until tomorrow. Maybe I will get some type of mount made for the Starlink dish and permanently mount it up there on the roof. But for now, I gotta run and get gas, and we'll worry about everything else tomorrow. See you then. It's a wee bit breezy out there, so we'll have a quick conversation in here and then go out and do the dang thing. Plan today is to mount the Starlink up on the roof. Kind of just made like a real simple makeshift mount to stick up there. Putting it up on the roof and facing it south is not aligned according to the app, but we did the speed tests. We checked it all out. I used it when it was up there and it works perfectly fine. So I don't think the aligned bit matters all too much. I think it's just saying, well, this is perfectly aligned. It's north here in this location. But we're not going to do that. We're going to put it up on the roof because that is my best option. I don't want it sitting out there on the ground, especially all winter. Also, I got an email the other day. Starlink, for a lot of people, at least with the Roam package, went up, I don't know, $15 to $19 a month because they added new features. One of those features is in-motion use. So I think the aligned thing is going to be a thing of the past. I don't think it's really going to matter. I mean, if people can literally drive with them on top of their RVs now, you're not always going to be perfectly aligned. You're going to be facing every which direction. So I don't think that matters so much anymore. Let's just check out. Right now it's pulling 45 watts. One thing I noticed too with the app is if you go under obstructions and then you go up to settings up here, there's a snow melt feature which I actually turned off because it was on and it takes more power when it goes into heating mode. In the winter, I might have to use it to melt snow if it's going to be up on the roof. But for now, I have it off so that it's going to use less power. And also, there's a sleep schedule option. So I can literally, you know, 12:15 a.m. to 6 a.m. put it in sleep mode. Or whatever, 7:50, whatever. You can choose different times if you're not going to be home or if you're sleeping but you don't want to fully unplug it. You can just put it on sleep mode, hit save, and that runs way less power as well. I think it runs at like 23 watts when it's on sleep mode. So about half the power it's running now. But this is what my little thing looks like. All those red dots are obstructions. Those are all my trees. So obviously I've got a full clear view in the very center. Everything around the very edge is trees. Okay, so for the mount, we're not fancy over here. I literally found this piece of plywood in my shed. It was actually the plywood that my old RV propane furnace was sitting on, and it just happens to be the same size as the Starlink. I cut out a little hole in the center. That's where the kickstand part is going to be. I'll show you in a second, but also I just painted it with some white marine paint. I'm pretty sure I had from my bathtub when I painted that at one point, my old one. But yeah, Starlink's just going to be on here. I'm going to secure these wooden pieces to the back and just put some construction adhesive on the back and stick it up on the roof. That should do it. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to work. Anybody else have a screw mug? You know, a mug that they just keep random bits and pieces and screws in, so when they need a certain size screw, they just root through the screw mug? No? Just me? Alright. I'm gonna have to go unplug the other end of this from the rotor, but yeah, this is sort of what we're working with, so you can see it's pretty much the same, similar in size to the Starlink dish itself. Here we go, here's the back side. Eye screws, zip ties. Does it look ridiculous? Probably. Is it gonna go anywhere? Probably not. So now we just have to mount this thing up on the roof. Got some PL Premium here. It's an adhesive that works on both metal and wood, so just gonna run some down on either side of these two pieces and slap it up there. Alright, I don't know what you can see, but I'm just kind of holding it here in place. I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, making sure that the adhesive adheres to the roof. I know the roof is quite hot. Ask me how I know. But I think that's a pretty good spot for it. It's right next to the panels here. Located more so in the middle of the roof, which should be good for the wide open space up there. Yeah, we'll test things out when I get back down below and plug this in and see how it performs. The adhesive has adhered quite well. So it's up there, and I'm glad. Ignore the cord. I'll deal with that in a moment, but I think the next order of business is probably going to be take the cord, run it inside, plug it in, and we'll see what we're getting. Plug back into the rotor. I'm just going to turn this on and give it 5 minutes or so just to do its thing, power up, connect to satellites, and we'll check via speed test. It's a beautiful day, so while we wait, let's just have one of these maybe, a White Claw. Look, my fridge is very full. I know. Just got groceries yesterday, and this is what I mean when I say I don't like this fridge. I mean, I like the fridge, but it's small for my needs. I have a lot of food in there. Yep. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yep. We'll just go over here, have a seat, and hope that the satellites align, you know? Is it time yet? Let's check. Let's do a speed test. Now it might be too soon for that, but we'll give it a whirl. Sometimes I find If you don't give it some time, you might get slower results, but those results are looking pretty good to me. Yeah, can't really complain about that. Run again. Still looking like the same pretty good results. 289 megabits per second. The results are in. Starlink is going to stay up there on the roof. And next I'm going to have to run the cord under the roof, down through the fridge vent, and into the trailer, probably that way, instead of having it come down and go in through the window like it was. I think it's just gonna make more sense doing that and having the cord out of the way. It's not gonna be dangling down in front of the trailer that way. So that's next on my list after I finish my White Claw. Here's my advanced speed test results if anyone's interested. Device to rotor 413 megabits per second, rotor to internet 205 megabits per second. You tell me if that's good or bad. I don't know. I hope it's good. But this part is funny. When you go to check the alignment, you can see it's doing the total opposite thing that the app wants you to do. You know, it's tilted the complete opposite way. Oh well, the results are good. It's up there. The cord is underneath the roof, stretched across, going down the old fridge vent inside. It works, it's functional, that's all that matters. By the way, I just went on to shop for mounts on the app, just out of curiosity. And a mount that would sit on the peak of my roof was on there for $499 Canadian. No thank you. That costs more than the hardware cost me when I bought it. The hardware is now $499, but it was $199. So I don't know if the mounts were at one point cheaper, but I just can't justify something like that. So yeah, my mount might not be pretty, but it works, right? It's not that ugly. It's not pretty, but it's not ugly. It's just, you know, it works. Anyway, I think it is time to make some supper because I'm pretty hungry. I'm gonna barbecue burgers, I think. And I already made a pasta salad up, so I'm gonna have that as well. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye. Cheers, Bubba, to a delicious barbecue supper on the way. You're looking good, man. I think you're putting on some weight again, finally. Eh? You're looking good. You're looking a little broad in the middle again. I think Ramsey's thyroid meds are finally helping. You know, doing something. Putting a little chonk back on him, maybe. Fingers crossed. I mean, does it get much better? Barbecue hamburger, cheese, ketchup, mayo, pasta salad, Corona and lime. Come on. Come on.